to the latest episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. As you can tell, I'm using a different type of microphone today because obviously my piece of my headset that had the little speaker thing on it, it's disappeared. I don't know where it is. Looked for it this morning, couldn't find it, and we had to improvise. But either way, this is episode number 49. I'm currently outside of my job, where I just finished up. I do not like TikTok. You know, if people like TikTok mask, I do not like TikTok. I just needed a new mask because when I was on the shore, it started raining, and therefore, you gotta improvise. But anyway, here we go with the show. We are going to be talking about the NBA to start the show. So, oh man, what do you know? I've been right about this for a while now, and I'm still right about this, and I love when I'm right. That says everybody else pretty much. The Bucks lost to the Magic in Game 1. And I know a lot of people are like, it's just Game 1, don't worry, the Bucks will win the next four games. And maybe they will, just maybe they will. But that's not the point. The point is not the fact that the Bucks lost to the Magic. The fact is that Giannis had such a great game. 37 points, I think it was 17 rebounds, or 17 assists, one of those two. And the Bucks still lost. This all-powerful team, everyone's picked them to go to the finals and win the finals, beat the Clippers or the Lakers, or whoever else comes out of the West. And yet they can't beat the Magic? Now, again, they'll win the series. Fine. I'm okay with that. You know, I think everybody can agree with that the Magic will win this series. Not the Magic, the Bucks, excuse me. The Bucks, though, are not going to win the NBA Finals. And this is possibly Giannis' last season there in Milwaukee. I'm definitely almost certain that this is his last season in Milwaukee. He has no help. Chris Middleton shuts down in big games. You saw last night. About getting a quarter on a Wednesday. Chris Middleton's not a big help. Giannis is doing it all by himself. It's not enough. And you know, Giannis is a free agent this year, upcoming season, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think he's just going to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to stay in Milwaukee? No, he's not. I definitely don't think he's going to stay in Milwaukee. I think this is it for him. I think he's done. He is going to test the free agent market this year. Because Milwaukee, first of all, is not a big market, so you're not going to get a lot of all-stars to come help you out. And doing it yourself, well, as you could tell, as far as Giannis goes, it's not fun. It's not easy. Who wants to do this by themselves? Giannis doesn't. And that's where I think that Giannis, this is it for him. He's gonna. This is it. This is his final season with Milwaukee. He's going to test the free agent market. I do think he goes to the Lakers or the Warriors, because we all both know the Lakers definitely need another one. Let's talk about that in a moment, but the Lakers definitely need another guy, especially because I don't know about Anthony Davis right now. He's free agent 12 this coming year. Or then the Warriors can also use a big guy. You know, they were supposed to win the finals this year. It's a great team, but everybody got hurt, and therefore I think Giannis goes out west this off season. We don't know where yet. There's no speculation or anything like that. But the way this game won last night just proved to me and made me. I don't want to say I'm more right, but I'm more right. This is it for Giannis. This is it. They're going to beat the Magic. And I think they have to play the Celtics in the next round. No way they get past the Celtics. And then Giannis, come October, will be shocking us all by joining another team. Can't wait for that. It's going to be so much fun. Speaking of the Lakers, we talked about that just a moment ago. The Lakers lost to the Blazers. So, first time in the 2002-2003 season, the 2-8 seeds beat the 1 seeds in a Game 1. Yes, everybody's so surprised. Oh my goodness, well, we all know that the Blazers are not an 18 team. Not only 18 because of the way they came into the bubble. But once they got to that bubble, they kicked everyone's you-know-what. And then they just beat LeBron and the Lakers last night. Well, last night proved two things to me when it comes to the Lakers. One thing is that the Lakers are, good lord, LeBron is the Lakers. Well, we already knew that, right? Have I ever knew that? That the LeBron is the Lakers? The Lakers are not LeBron? He took over that game last night. He rallied his team back. They were down big. I was watching the first half. They were down big. They had LeBron led them back with his great passing, his great transition runs. You know, it's just all of it. It's just so great by LeBron. And then there's the rest of the team. Good lord, Anthony Davis was very bad shooting. He had 1 for 9 at one point. He really just had a really bad night. He had I heard a lot about Kyle Kuzma. He had a bad night as well, not the best night. So there's another mess there, and good God Almighty, this Lakers team is definitely in trouble, especially the way Damian Lillard's playing. And LeBron said it himself. He's absolutely right. This is not an 8. You don't look at this as an 8 seed team. This is a great, talented team in Portland. this is a team that could get to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, seriously, they'll play the Raptors and Nets in the next round if I'm not mistaken. If they beat the... Oh, excuse me, I'm in the wrong conference here. They'll play the Nuggets or the Jazz, I think. No, it's in the... Alright, no, yeah, point being here. Let's get back on track. LeBron and the Lakers, this is not a team that's going to win the NBA Finals. So the Senegal, Giannis and the Bucks, you know, obviously, whenever the playoff seedings are right, and everybody's 1v1, you know, you find out the 1 seed, you're like, oh, these two teams can meet the finals. LeBron and Lakers are not going to the finals. Did you see that game last night against Portland? You think that if they keep playing like that against Portland, they're going to win at all this series? It's going to be very tough. I do think the Lakers will win the series, but good Lord Almighty, does LeBron need help? They need to step it up big time, especially if they want to beat the Blazers and move on to the next round. Because how are we going to look at LeBron if he doesn't make the finals this year? It's going to be very different, a different perspective from a lot of people if LeBron can't take the Lakers to the finals. But he does need help. And so you need Anthony Davis to step up, you need Kyle Kuzma to step up, you need the whole team to step up. Otherwise, they're going to see a second round exit in the bubble. So those are two big takeaways from first game ones. Obviously, against Florida on Wednesday. SCU Show number 49, and host SCU. And with that, let's get to the NFC. And this week we have 2 previews. Because next week we're not doing a show, so this week we're doing 2 previews. We have the NFC South and the NFC East this week. In 2 weeks, a week before the NFL season, we'll do a live SCU Show on Facebook. We'll preview the NFC West. We'll take your questions. We'll have guests on. We'll look at some guests on as well. So let's start with the NFC South. Obviously, we got to start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Tampa Bay is a very talented team. They were talented last year. You know, they led the league in passing. James Winston led the league in passing. They had one of the most highest power offenses in the league last year. There was just one problem. James Winston threw 30 picks, including his 30th was the last play of the season for him against the Falcons. The pick 6 to end their season in overtime, the loss to the Falcons. Tom Brady's not going to throw 30 picks this year. Not only that, he has Gronkowski there with him. He has Chris Godwin. He has Mike Evans. They just got Sean McCoy in the backfield. That's going to be a big boost because Ronald Jones is not proven to be the guy I hope he was going to be for the Bucs in the backfield. He's done okay, but he has done the best. But really, those 3 additions. Plus, returning as a coach, he's a very successful coach. I'm glad he's back in the NFL. He did well. Obviously, he did well at Tampa. If Winston had thrown 30 picks, like I mentioned earlier, the Bucs would have been a playoff team. Unfortunately, 30 picks, you're not getting into the playoffs, but unless some catastrophic meltdown. So Tampa Bay, I said this 2 weeks ago or a few weeks ago. Tampa Bay is a Super Bowl contender, and a lot of people are thinking that's crazy because they got to play the Saints still. It's not crazy because they could beat the Saints. The reason the Saints. You see their playoff runs the last few times. Obviously, a lot of things have not gone their way, but obviously at the same time, a lot of it kind of on them. Everybody looks about the NFC Championship game. Oh, the no call. The game went to overtime. Bruce threw a pick. That's how the game ended. The Rams kicked field goal and went to the Super Bowl. In the NFC division against the Vikings, the Minneapolis Miracle, the safety was literally like under Stephon Diggs. He didn't even try to tackle him or anything. He was like ducked. Like he was scared of the ball or something. And then last year, you can argue, Saints Vikings covered off the push off. I didn't see that, but nonetheless, there's no doubt in my mind that the Bucs could beat the Saints in either game, because they play twice, week 1 and then week 9 in Tampa on Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a great series either way. As far as the Saints go, however, they still have a great team as well. But I think there's one big piece that I'm hoping the Saints can hope that when he comes back, he'll be a big piece to that offense, and that's Emmanuel Sanders. Now, Sanders could have caught the game-winning touchdown in Super Bowl 54 for the Niners had Jimmy Garoppolo not overthrown him by 10 yards. But now, obviously, Emmanuel Sanders is dealing with a broken foot. He'll be back probably mid-September, late September, early October. Whenever he comes back, we don't know what it is. Whenever he comes back, he's going to be such a key playmaker for the Saints. I cannot wait to see what he does. And really, no discredit to Michael Thomas, but Emmanuel Sanders is going to be a very key piece to that New Orleans offense. I can't even name their second guy. I saw it to them those 2. So really, he's going to be a big help for them because the Breeze can't be like Aaron Rodgers. I said this about Aaron Rodgers. Him and Devontae Adams, they're going to have a great season together. But that's all they're going to have. each other. You know, I do have Aaron Jones in the backfield, but other than the offense, you know, Devin Funch chopped it out. But anyway, so it can't just be Breeze and Michael Thomas doing everything for New Orleans. As nice as that might be, it just cannot be that way. They need that second receiver, and I think Emmanuel Sanders is going to be a big piece to them for that offense. And of course, Alvin Kamara, you need him to step as well. He only had like a few touchdowns last year. It was really not a good season for him. Hoping for more from him because I know what a talented running back he really is. He's not, you know, Christian McCaffrey, but he's smaller. I like the smaller guys in the NFL, like Russell Wilson. He's a small guy. I feel like they have more athleticism to them. So I'm hoping for more from Alvin Kamara. I think him and Emmanuel Sanders are going to be the two big pieces when it comes to the Saints in that offense in 2020. Carolina, I'm not really just not expecting much from them at all. I think Carolina has a down season because Teddy Bridgewater's first year. He hasn't started in a long time. It's been a long time since Teddy Bridgewater started quarterback. It's at least 6 years at least since he started. It was 5 years, whatever it was. He's going to a new offense, new playbook, new coach, new everything. And really, Matt Rule, we know him as a defensive head coach, so he's he will obviously be focusing to get the offense more successful. Him and that defense, that's really going to be his main focus. So you just cross your fingers and hope that Teddy Bridgewater can be the quarterback everybody thinks he can be for the Panthers. But again, they're not overpowering Tampa, and they're definitely not overpowering New Orleans. And then there's Atlanta. Do I even have to say it? The Falcons is such a disappointment, and everybody knows if you listen to me, if you listen to my podcast for the last 3 years, I've picked the Falcons, or if you know personally, you know I picked the Falcons a few times. You know that's such a great team, and this year, here we go again. The Falcons have 10 first-round picks on their team. Oh boy, so exciting! Yeah, I'm sorry, Atlanta fans, Atlanta front office, whoever. This is a 6-win team, maximum. This is a maximum 6-win team. It's nothing against Atlanta. You know, they're again such a talented team, but they do this every year. They built the roster. They got it to script. They got this. They got everything so wonderful and great. And they finished below 500, and then missed the playoffs every other year. And I think this is it for Dan Quinn as well. Dan Quinn is going to be fired on Black Monday in 2021. He will no longer be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be the first one to break it to you guys. That's it. Dan Quinn will be fired as the Atlanta head coach in 2021. He will not be there for next year. Now we switch over to the NFC East, which my friends know. I'm a former Cowboys fan. If you watch the show, you know I'm a former Cowboys fan. No longer a fan of that team. Just excited to see what the future holds. So let's start with the Cowboys. They have such a talented roster. Kind of said the same thing about Atlanta. But when it comes to Atlanta, they fool you every other year. Dallas, I mean, they had the division locked up last year. They spoon-fed it to Philadelphia. They're like, oh, you guys want it? No, we don't want it. No, we don't want it. Philly and Dallas really went back and forth until Philly beat them later in the year. And they ultimately claimed the NFC East title in Week 17. It was a crapshoot. Now, there's no excuses. Dak went almost 5,000 yards. Better head coach. No offense to Jason Garrett. I really liked him as head coach. But they have Mike McCarthy, who's won a Super Bowl before. He's been to several NFC Championship games before. Dak Prescott is a very talented quarterback. He has talented receivers. Mark Cooper's there. Doug Gallup's going to be a great number 2 or 3, depending on what CeeDee Lamb does. CeeDee Lamb. But everybody, a lot of people may not like how CeeDee Lamb plays. I love how CeeDee Lamb plays. CeeDee Lamb is such a talented receiver. He's going to have such a great season. I have him as one of the rookies of the year, the candidates. Not, he's not going to have one rookie of the year, but he's going to be a candidate for rookie of the year. Or even offensive rookie. He might win that because there's not a lot of offensive rookies there. Besides, it's him and T. Higgins. I'll get T. Higgins on the live show in 2 weeks. But him and T. Higgins are really the two receivers that I'm like, wow, this is incredible. I love what these two do, and I really love what CeeDee Lamb does. Now he's a quarterback like Dak, where it's like, wow, he's going to have such a great season. Zeke's going to be back. Hopefully, he drops some weight. Works on his legs, gets back to where he was rookie year, the first couple of years in the NFL. The last 2 years, he hasn't done the best. So we're hoping for the best for him moving forward. And that defense is still good. They got Kyle Van Der Esch, they got Jalen Smith. The big losses, they lost Gerald McCoy. Yeah, it's a big loss for Dallas. But I think they could bounce back from that and find somebody else that can take over for him. He's an older player anyway. So again, Dallas, very talented roster. And I expect a lot of great things from them coming this year. Alright, Philadelphia. Now everybody thinks I'm such a hater on Philadelphia because I talk about how bad Carson Wentz really is and how people are buying into him way too much for no reason whatsoever. Well, it's true. You guys aren't. But this year, I'm a little feeling a little indifferent about Philadelphia this year. I'm thinking they could make some noise. But it all depends on Carson Wentz. Can he keep the turnovers to a minimum? This is the biggest question mark. We'll get to that in a second. I'll start with this. Deshaun Jackson, he played like 2 games last year, and then got hurt. Is he going to be healthy the whole year? Alshon Jeffrey, another talented receiver from Philadelphia. Is he going to be healthy all year? And then the biggest question mark for me when it comes to the Eagles, what happens with Jalen Reagor? Is he going to be that star rookie everybody thinks he is? The Eagles picked him in the first round. They're expecting big things from him. I'm hoping for big things from him. He's going to be a kick returner as well as a receiver. So he is the biggest question mark for Philadelphia. If he does well, no question, Philadelphia is going to be a great team. If Reagor doesn't do well, especially in the return game, because he'll be the main guy, Philadelphia's going to have themselves troubles. Of course, again, betting on Carson Wentz and hoping that he does well and you get Sean Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey stay healthy, but we'll see. I think Philadelphia will be a good team. I don't know if they'll be a playoff team. It all depends, really, again, on Carson Wentz. And I'll put pressure on him. I'm putting the pressure on Carson Wentz because he's the leader. He is the guy in charge. Everybody blames Dak for the Dallas problems. But what about Carson Wentz? We don't blame Carson Wentz for the Philly problems? It's time somebody did, and I'm going to be that guy. I'm putting pressure on you, Carson Wentz. Step it up this year. Prove me wrong. A lot of people don't like the Giants either. I think that people are nuts. I think the Giants are such a special, talented team. Like, if that's a really talented team. I mean, do you see the people they have? I think Daniel Jones is going to go. He went through 24 touchdowns last year. He lost Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard last year during the season. Daniel Jones is going to have such a tremendous season. No, I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP candidate, blah, 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 blah. No, none of that. But Daniel Jones is going to throw over 30 touchdown passes, and I'm guaranteeing that. With the players he has, again, they had Darius Slayton, led all rookies in touchdowns. They had a great rookie year. I'm really banking on him to do well this year. No sophomore slump for him. They got Sterling Shepard coming back, Golden Tate coming back, Saquon Barkley to the backfield. They have everything they need. There's no reason this offense doesn't do what they can do. They're such a talented team, they could do so much. And I'm hoping that they bring it to the table this year. Really am. And then there's the Redskins. Oh, one more thing about the Giants. They're not going to be a playoff. I don't think they're a playoff. But Daniel Jones is going to throw over 30 touchdowns. And the Giants are going to upset somebody late in the season and ruin somebody's playoff chances. Just putting that out there. And then the Washington football team. They don't have a name. They don't have a quarterback. They don't really have no one receiver. Don't expect much from them. They have good, talented defense. They have Thomas Davis on that defense. They have Ryan Kerrigan on the defense. I was thinking of myself as a top 10 team defensively in the NFL, and then I looked at it again. I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe misconstrued something or something. But really, again, no number one receiver. That's the big problem. We don't know what to expect from Dwayne Haskins. And Terry McLaughlin, another good rookie from last year, had a good rookie year. But nobody's banking on him to be the number one. Like, he's not going to be an AB or Julio or DeAndre Hopkins, right? I'm not expecting that from him at all. I do hope that the Redskins do well, because, obviously, hope for good football around. Well, I said Redskins. The Washington football team. Excuse me. But I just want to think, without a name, without a receiver, top receiver, or a top quarterback, I just don't think Redskins do make much money. 5 wins, 4 wins. I'll leave it at that. And with that, we are done. We have wrapped this episode up of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. This has been episode number 49. Again, we take next week off for prep for episode number 50 when we go live. I'm not sure what day or what time, but stay tuned to the Facebook page. If you are not on our Facebook page, go ahead and hit that like button because you won't regret it. We're going to have a lot of guests about a lot of topics ahead of the NFL season. The NBA semifinals will be heating up by then, and it's going to be very exciting stuff. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching this episode of the SCU Show. I'm your host, SCU. And we will be back in 2 weeks for episode number 50.